Good morning. Good. Yes, we are live, I suppose. Maybe not quite. Let's see. Yes, now I think we are live. Good morning. Good morning, lovelies. How are you in this Saturday morning? Yes, here it's not really lovely day, isn't it? It's kind of white sky and yes, they say it's going to be raining tomorrow. We'll see. Anyways, I had a lovely morning because I discovered that Beehive are on Spotify. Do you know Beehive? If you were born in the 80s or end of the 70s in Italy, you must know them. They were the band from Mirko of Kiss Militia, the Japanese anime or cartoon everybody watched. So yes, I prepared this class while actually singing Baby, I love you. Vorrei vederti ma tu. Yes, it was a lovely morning. Anyways, we will start shortly. Just check if somebody else is connecting. One thing I wanted to ask you before we start, and I will also write a survey, I don't know, later, tomorrow, next few days, whenever. It's about social medias. Yes, I'm an English teacher or an English coach. I am no social media manager, no social media strategist, and honestly, I love teaching on social medias because I know I can reach lots of people and help lots of people. But yes, it does take loads of time. Loads of time. It's impressive how much time you need if you really want to support people in the learning through free material on social medias. And yes, I'm kind of thinking whether these classes are more effective if you watch them on Instagram or on Facebook. So I posted a poll on my stories on Instagram like 5 minutes ago, and I will post a poll here as well. Yes, of course, you can choose between Instagram, the Facebook community, and my blog, my website. And of course, as usual, after this class, I will complete the article I prepared on my blog. So if for you it's a bit difficult to follow me in English, you have the Italian version of this class right on my blog. And also, if you just feel like, listening to this lesson without necessarily taking notes, then yes, just be aware that there is a blog post coming out, and of course there is a nice and free downloadable PDF at the end of the article, so you can just download the article and print it, write down notes on it, whatever you normally do in order to learn a language. Yes. And also, please, if there is some topic you would like us to do together, just let me know and I'll prepare a class on it, really. I'm trying to do a class per month, a free class per month on this Facebook community. But yes, I can also do more if time allows and if you need. So really, don't feel bad, DM me or just write in the comments. Please tag me if you write me in the comments, because sometimes I really kind of miss things. I don't spend so much time on social media. I do it mostly for working reasons. So yes, if you can tag me, I would really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's move on to do and make, which tend to create quite confusion into Italian mother tongues, because in Italian we just say fare, and of course for us it's always fare. We facciamo everything, like. In English you have two verbs, the verb to do and the verb to make. And yeah, so the first thing you need to know is that there is a general rule to know when to use one, when to use the other one. But then, as it is often the case, you just need to learn. There are some fixed expressions that you just need to learn. So yes, I will tell you the general rules. Then I will move on and give you some collocations with to do and to make. And then yes, so we will close up our free class. Another thing to be aware is that just like in Italian, to do and to make are not so elegant. So even though, for example, you can do a project, it is better to, it is more formal to say you carry out a project, okay? Another mistake, like I've heard tons of Italian students do, is like we normally facciamo domande, noi le facciamo proprio come se le mettessimo insieme. English people don't do and don't make questions, they just ask questions, which kind of makes sense, right? So, what's the general rule? The general rule is that the verb to do is used when you speak about fare in general terms. For example, you can do an activity, as I said, you can do a project, you can do a job, but it's not very specific. You also use do when there are some special words in this sentence, such as, for example, anything, something, nothing, everything. I don't know. Do you have anything to do this weekend at all? Or are you going to do something special this weekend? Yes, in these cases, you always use the verb to do. To do, of course, is always used as an auxiliary verb, but then it doesn't mean to do, really. It's just a marker that shows you the time of a sentence, when the action of the sentence is taking place. So, for example, if I ask you, do you like pasta? This do doesn't mean fare, okay? Just auxiliary verb. So 3 ways why you use to do: auxiliary verb with words such as anything, something, everything, nothing, and when you speak in general terms. Now, the verb to make, it's a bit easier in this regard because you only use it in general terms when you're creating something. So, for example, you can make a cake, you know? Yes, you make homeworks. You do your English homeworks. You make, what do you make? Oh, coffee, yes. Would you make me a coffee? If in your job you create something concretely, let's say like you are, I think I put in my examples, fashion designer. I am a fashion designer, I make clothes, because you actually created them. Okay, and those are the general rules. So it's very easy. With to do, you have 3 aspects to consider. With to make, you only have 1 when you create something. So next step, what about when you use only the verb to do? Yes, it's a list really that I'm going to give you, a list of expressions, and yes, you will find everything on my website, so don't worry. But for example, as I said, you speak in general term, so you can do work, and you can say, for example, whoa, next week I really have a lot of work to do, when you're really busy. At the same time, in the same way, you can also do a job. So like, think about it. If you could or wanted to change job, what would you do? I don't know. I'd love to become the next Agatha Christie of Italy, for example. So what job would you like to do? You can also do business. Yes, people do business all the time. Yes, I don't know. Next week I'm flying to China to do some important business. Of course, be aware that again, business, you can take care of a business, you can develop a business, okay? As they taught us in our Italian schools, you know, il verbo fare è veramente generico, è più elegante sostituirlo. Sorry, I noticed there's something flashing in this video, like Stefano sent you something, but I don't see anything. But anyways, it will come. So yes, you do a business. Of course, you can do a research, okay, and you can carry out a research, right? So I don't know, I need to do a research for a school project next week. You do an exam if you study at university. I'm sure you do exams, or you did, like I did. When I went to uni in Trieste, I had to do, I don't even, 32 exams, was it, in the end, for the 4 years vecchio ordinamento? Don't remember. But anyway, you do exams. You do paperwork, and you also can take care of paperwork, okay? So for example, if you work in admin, you deal every day with a lot of paperwork, so you do paperwork. It's weekend. Normally at weekends I do the laundry, I do the washing. That's something I always do. Something I never do is doing my nails. Yes, as you can see. You can do your nails, you can do your hair, you can do your makeup, everything that has to do with this thing here, okay? And last but not least, you can do well or you can do badly. Again, you can do well in an exam, okay? Or you can do badly, yes. So these are the expressions with the verb to do. And now we'll move on with the verb to make. And be ready, because it's about 10 expressions. I was counting them to be sure I had all of them inside my article. I hope I have all of them, by the way. If you know some other expression with to do or to make, feel free to write it in the comments, so we just, increase the level of general knowledge as to English. Of course, first things that came to my mind is that you make a phone call, okay? You can phone or you can make a phone call. You can make an appointment or a plan or an arrangement. For example, on Monday I made an appointment to go to my dentist, to the dentist, I don't know. You can also make money, and if you're extremely lucky, you can make a fortune. Yes, I think making money it's kind of a sentence that we heard on and off. US American people seem to be quite obsessed with the idea of making loads of money, and it's possibly in a short time. So yes, make money. You can make a change. You can make a change in your life, for example. You can have, for example, a good resolutions for New Year's Eve, and you can decide next year I'm going to make a change and I'm no longer eating meat. I don't know. You can make a difference, okay? I met in my life a number of people who really made a difference. I don't know, I think in my example I spoke about Fridays for Future making a difference, but you can use it also in less important contexts. For example, I don't know, shall I cook pizza or shall I cook pasta? I don't mind, doesn't make any difference. It's kind of like fa lo stesso, non fa differenza, non importa. Then you have to make a choice and to make a decision, and please be aware, this is really another, like when I hear my Italian students say that they make, can I make a question? It's like, no. You may ask a question, you cannot make a question. This is another thing. You don't take a decision and you don't take a choice. I found to take a choice, to take a decision on random English article on the web, but most of the time they were not written by mother tongue speakers or native speakers. In English they make a decision, which is quite nice if you're going to think about it. It looks like, they put together all the elements, all their thoughts, and then, yes, they make a choice or they make a decision. Another expression is to make friends. So I don't know, like parties are a good way to make new friends. Of course, you can make a joke. Okay, laughing is important. David is a very funny person. He always makes jokes about things. Okay. Then we have to make a mistake. Easy peasy. Yes, I do lots of mistakes. Or, well, yeah, it depends on what I'm speaking about. But yes, in other languages, I do lots of mistakes. But you can also do mistakes make mistake in your life, of course. And see, it's fairly easy to get confused and make mistakes. And then the last one I put on the list is to make the bed. Yes, if you are like me, you don't really like taking care of the house. So making the bed is something that I do only when I change the sheets and the blankets. In normal everyday life, I just don't make the bed. Good. And that is the end as to the expression with the verb to make. So just a short recap, just a short review. What we saw today are like the general rules of when to use to do and when to use to make. We noticed that, or we discovered that when you use to do, you need to remember 3 aspects that you used to do for general things. You used to do, sorry, you used to do when using words such as anything, something, everything, nothing. And last but not least, you use to do as an auxiliary verb. Then we saw the general rule for the verb to make, which is you use the verb to make when you're speaking about creating something. You know, I might make a cake today. It's weather, it's really bad, don't have anything else to do. And here you see, I don't have anything else, anything to do, so I might make a cake. And then we saw some collocations, some expressions with the verb to do. So in these cases, you must use the verb to do, and some other expressions where you must use the verb to make. And that's it for today. If you have questions, feel free to tag me, remember to tag me, and write them in the comments. And now I will go on and finish the article with the link to this video, and I will post it in the comments. So if you are struggling to understand English and this lesson was a bit too complicated for you to follow, you have the Italian version of it. And of course, the list of all the collocation I explained. Wish you a lovely Saturday, and I'll see you next month.